Yeah. Analytics off the chain, all the channels not the same. Jake and Kyle, you know the name. Headliner Nation, we running the game. I'm a headliner.
Yo, what is up, Headliner Nation? Welcome into the Week 11 rankings. I've got my top 50 wide receivers for you and my top 20 tight ends to get your lineup set and ready to roll this week. We're going to be flying through all of the rankings here in just a second. But hey, we have got a goal of 700 total members here on YouTube. We're about 75-ish away as of right now, and we need your help, Headliner Nation. We got to hit that goal. We want to hit it by the end of the season. Can we do it? Yes, we can. That is our saying on the Sunday morning members live shows. For $4.99 a month, you get that extra live show on Sunday mornings. You get exclusive content throughout the week. You get badges and emotes in the chat that make your name stand out so we can see it easier. And then, of course, everyone that sees it knows that you are a part of the exclusive Headliner Nation. If we've helped you at all this season, consider joining up. It's only $4.99 a month, but as a reminder for the rankings videos, all right, here's kind of the philosophy behind what I do. So for my rankings videos, right, I talk about a player's upside. When I do my start and sit videos, it's all about that floor. That floor is 10 points for me. Do I think their floor is at 10 points? If it's yes, then they're a start. If it's below it, then they're not a start for me. However, just because the player's floor is below 10 points doesn't mean their ceiling isn't higher. So if you see somebody on this list and you say, Kyle, they're ranked above someone that's a sit, why is that? It's because I'm putting in the rankings where I think their ceiling may end up this week, which could take them above 10 points. So make sure that you understand that before you leave comments on the video or before you are like, what's going on here? Okay, make sure you understand that that is what we are doing with the rankings. So it is time to jump into it. We're going to fly through these and we're going to talk about our top 50 wide receivers first. Let's get into it. Number one, Davante Adams going up against Minnesota, my number one wide receiver this week. Hopefully Aaron Rodgers shook off some of that rust that we saw last week. Tyreek Hill going up against Dallas. Big game for him last week. Patty Mahomes looking a little bit better. The offense looking a little bit better. Hopefully that trend continues. I've got A.J. Brown all the way up to number 3 this week. It's not a tough matchup for him whatsoever. So even without Julio Jones, without somebody on the other side to really give him some oomph, and no, Johnson is not one of those guys, A.J. Brown is still going to be this high for me. Definitely a high ceiling. Deebo Samuel going up against Jacksonville. High ceiling every single week. Stephon Diggs at number 5. I mean, he's been playing well. I see some Stephon Diggs owners go, oh, he's why you have him so high? He's been not doing that good. Like, just because his numbers aren't as crazy as they were last season doesn't mean he's not doing good. Stephon Diggs is still a very good play this year. At number 6, CeeDee Lamb going up against Kansas City. I love CeeDee Lamb getting back to the slot, and I think we saw some of that last week. Justin Jefferson at number 7 against Green Bay. The dude's just been dominating. Hopefully he has himself a big game against Green Bay. Jamar Chase at number 8. Hopefully that offense gets back on track this week with some big plays to Jamar. Number 9, Keenan Allen. Seeing lots and lots of volume right now. That's what we like to see out of him. It is affecting Mike Williams, unfortunately, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Chris Godwin at number 10 for me. Lots of volume on Monday night going up against the New York Giants. DK Metcalf at 11 going up against Arizona. This is directly tied to Russell Wilson and how he's feeling health-wise. If Russell Wilson is 100% healthy and that finger isn't bothering him anymore and he's getting a better grip on the ball and things of that nature, DK Metcalf goes higher, but got to have him lower this week because of that. Marquise Brown at number 12 going up against Chicago, still the number 1 wide receiver in that offense. They're looking to bounce back after that game. Marquise Brown led the team in targets again last week. He's still the number 1 option there. Mike Evans at number 13 would like to go higher. He's kind of built on the big play right now, especially with the potential of Antonio Brown coming back. We'll mention him in a minute as well. Amari Cooper at number 14. Yes, been dealing with a little bit of a hammy injury, but the dude's been finding the end zone quite a bit this year. Still racking up some big plays. He's still a wide receiver 2 for us. Deontay Johnson at number 15 is a very tough matchup this week. However, as I talked about in the start and sit video, hopefully he's getting a lot of those short passes. They're letting him trying to work with the ball in his hands. Yes, it's not going to lead to a lot of big plays, but the volume will be there. Adam Thielen at number 16 going up against Green Bay. Really needs to find the end zone to make this ranking go higher. T. Higgins at number 17 against Las Vegas. Las Vegas does like to create a lot of pressure. T. Higgins, are we going to get him worked into the short passing game a little bit? Hopefully. We'll see. Number 18, Tyler Lockett. Again, would like to have him higher this week, but can't because, again, Russell Wilson and that finger, you could tell last week, probably still bothering him a little bit. Hopefully another week gets him a little healthier. DJ Moore at number 19. I think the move back to Cam Newton is going to be good for DJ Moore, and I think we see some of that this week. I don't think we see big game, big explosion with Cam Newton this week, but I do think we see DJ Moore get back on the right track, going up against a Washington team that gives up the second most fantasy points per game to opposing wide receivers. Jalen Waddle at number 20. Him and Tua have that connection. It's the New York Jets. They've given up over 40 points in 3 of their last 4 games. I expect some decent Jalen Waddle love this week. Terry McLaurin at number 21. Carolina is a very tough matchup, but Terry has been known to be matchup proof. Mike Williams at number 22. I'd like to have him higher. I've got him right about here, though, because I do think they try to focus in on getting him back into the game plan a little bit more this week. It's gotten ridiculous over the last few weeks. I'm sure that they're probably noticing it, and if they are, they're going to specifically have some things ready for Mike Williams to go. Brandon Cooks at number 3. Tennessee's defense has been playing a whole lot better, creating a lot of pressure. Not really going to give Tyrod a whole lot of time to throw, so I've got Brandon Cooks a little bit lower because of that big play upside being limited. Hunter Renfrow at number 24 going up against Cincinnati. Definitely. I don't think, I mean, if he scores, he's definitely kind of in this wide receiver 2 range. You're not going to see Hunter Renfrow rip off some of these huge days or these huge plays that are going to make him a top 12 wide receiver. I think having him as like a low-end wide receiver 2 is a pretty safe expectation for him. Michael Pittman Jr. at number 25 going up against Buffalo, and Devontae Smith at number 26 going up against New Orleans. Both of these guys have really tough matchups. Both of these guys have a floor below 10 points for me this week. I have them both as sits, but if they score a touchdown, they could easily make it into this high wide receiver 3 range for me. At number 27, Christian Kirk. This is tied to Kyler Murray. You know, is he going to be ready to go? Is DeAndre Hopkins going to be ready to go? We got to keep an eye on that. If not, Christian Kirk will go higher for me. Corey Davis at number 28 going up against Miami. Had a good, decent game against Buffalo last week. Let's see if he can keep it going against Miami. Jarvis Landry against Detroit. Hopefully they get him a little bit more in tune to the game plan. Okay, he's been missing a little bit. Is it because of the injury? Is it because of Baker Mayfield being hurt? You know, what is it? We'll see. Detroit's a pretty good place to start, though. Rashad Bateman going up against Chicago. Not a whole lot of upside for me because those huge scoring plays aren't really happening right now, and he's not finding the end zone. If that starts to happen, he starts going higher, though. Cole Beasley at number 31 just hasn't been performing too well as of late, but this is a really, really good matchup for him. Going up against their nickel corner, Cole Beasley could have a huge day. He allows the most receptions and most yards to slot wide receivers. Kadarius Toney at number 32, going up against Tampa Bay Monday night. Good night for him to hopefully kind of get back into that volume role that we've seen him play with Sterling Shepard being out. Jacoby Myers finally finding the end zone, but only gets to number 33 for me against Atlanta. Emmanuel Sanders, number 34, going up against Indianapolis. Been very, very disappointing as of late. Again, though, if he finds the end zone, him and Josh Allen kind of get back on that connection. He could easily go here. Kind of same thing for Marvin Jones. That big play potential kind of leaves him in this 35 range for me. Kenny Golladay going up against Tampa Bay. Is he going to get back into the volume aspect of things? Are they going to get him 8, 9, 10 targets a game? If they do, the potential's there. Brandon Ayuk playing a lot better at number 37 going up against Jacksonville. Number 38, Donovan Peoples-Jones. Again, going up against Detroit. Great option for him to get back on track and hit that high ceiling. Robbie Anderson going up against Washington, number 39. Got him back in the start column this week. I think him and Cam are going to get on it. Michael Gallup, don't have him as a start right now. Potential's there. Kind of depends on CeeDee Lamb. I don't expect CeeDee Lamb to be out, but he left last week with an arm contusion. Haven't really heard anything about it since then. Keep it on your radar, though. Marquez Valdez-Scantling at number 41. I love the big play potential going up against Minnesota this week. But the one thing really about him is not a whole lot of volume. So even if the big play is there, he might not have a whole lot of volume to really send him higher. Traquan Smith working out of the slot. Love the matchup going up against Philadelphia. Darnell Mooney at number 43. Tough matchup against Baltimore. Same thing goes for Allen Robinson. Both of these guys I have as sits this week. Jamal Agnew. It kind of depends on what they do with them. Last week, his whole week was basically made on one touchdown run, but they are actively trying to get him the ball. Elijah Moore going up against Miami. Playing on the outside right now is starting to feel a little bit better, but it is Joe Flacco that he's got this week. Kendrick Bourne at Atlanta. I like Kendrick Bourne this week. I've got him as a start, but again, Kendrick Bourne has only cracked the top 30 or top 20 wide receivers 3 times this season, and he's the only wide receiver from New England to do that. AJ Green at number 48, kind of the same thing with Christian Kirk. Are we going to have DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray? Brian Edwards at number 49, big touchdown last week. Can they get him into more of those situations where he's mismatched and scoring on those? And then number 50, I've got Antonio Brown. I mean, he hinted at potentially coming back this week. I won't believe it until I see it, but still going to list him here so people aren't like, hey, where's Antonio Brown? Antonio Brown is not expected to play as of right now, other than the fact that he hinted at it on his Instagram. Travis Kelce, 4 tight ends, obviously is going to lead it off here at number 1, Travis Kelce. Number 2, George Kittle. He's back looking good. Number 3, Mark Andrews. The volume's there. The upside every single week is there. The consistency is there, which we can say about him and not Darren Waller right now. Been quite inconsistent for Darren Waller. Hopefully he gets back on track this week. Kyle Pitts against New England. No Hayden Hurst this week, so expect maybe a few more snaps from Kyle Pitts on the inline there at the tight end position, but most of the time he's going to be out wide or in the slot. TJ Hawkinson at number 6. I know he's disappointing a lot of people right now, but he's still the tight end 4 on the season. Mike Gesicki coming off a terrible performance last week, but again, New York Jets have allowed 40 or more points the last 3 of 4 weeks, so the opportunity to score is absolutely there. Hunter Henry at number 8 going up against Atlanta. Like his opportunities this week. One thing about it with Hunter Henry, though, kind of right now built on the touchdown. If he scores, great. If he doesn't, not nearly as much upside. Dalton Schultz at number 9 going up against Kansas City. Michael Gallup coming back does throw a little bit of a wrench into it, but hopefully Dak continues to look towards Schultz's direction. Pat Freiermuth going up against the LA Chargers. I like Pat Freiermuth again this week. Yeah, down performance last week, but he still led the team in targets. Dan Arnold continues to lead the team in targets and receiving yards over the last 3 weeks, going up against San Francisco. Number 12, CJ Uzomah, who's yo mama. I expect him to score a touchdown this week. I really like his potential going up against a Las Vegas team that is in the top 5 of most fantasy points allowed to opposing tight ends. Dawson Knox at number 13. I am not fully convinced that Dawson Knox is 100% healthy at this point. That hand might not be fully healed at this point because of that. Might be having some troubles. I'm going to kind of keep some lower expectations on him until I see him have that performance where we're like, okay, fully healthy. He's ready to go. Zach Ertz at number 14. The issue with Zach Ertz is that decent amount of volume, but it's kind of inconsistent volume right now. Adam Troutman at number 15, still playing over 85% of the snaps. Good matchup for him against Philadelphia. Number 16, Dallas Goedert, still in the concussion protocol as of right now. We'll continue to monitor it. Cole Kmet going up against Baltimore. It is a tougher matchup, but for Cole Kmet, the thing with him is him and Justin Fields are feeling it. They're feeling it right now. I love that. I love to see that. Baltimore is giving up a lot of fantasy points to opposing tight ends. This ranking may bring them up a little bit higher as the week goes on and we hear more information about some of the other guys. I'm just tempering some of those expectations because if he doesn't score, he probably doesn't go a lot higher than this. And I'm just worried about them trying to move the ball with such tough matchups on the outside. So really Cole Kmet's ranking this week and his upside is tied to whether or not Chicago can get to the red zone more often. Tyler Conklin at number 18 going up against Green Bay. I like the matchup for Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen more, and then running it more with Dalvin Cook. That's why I've got Tyler Conklin lower this week. Gerald Everett could be a good safety net for Russell Wilson this week. I've got him at number 19. And then Ricky Seals Jr. coming in at number 20 because looks like no Logan Thomas again this week. I really want to get Logan Thomas back on the field. It doesn't look like it's going to happen this week. We'll keep our fingers crossed for it coming soon. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Really rolled through it there. Top 50 wide receivers, top 20 tight ends. Don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new here to the Fantasy Headliners. Leave me a comment down below. Who do you think is the #1 scoring wide receiver and tight end for this week in week 11? And make sure, if you have the ability and you can help support the channel, become a member and get some awesome, awesome things along with it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get out of here. All of you stay safe and stay healthy. And I will catch you on the next episode of the Fantasy Headliners.
I'm a headliner.